Ça va? Ça fait longtemps on s'est pas vu sur la chaîne. Puis en plus je viens avec du lourd là. Hein. Là je viens avec du lourd les gars. Ça y est. La Master Collection volume 1 est sortie. On a le droit à MGS 1, 2 et 3. On a Metal Gear 1 et 2 sur MSX et les anciens, enfin l'opus là que personne n'a joué qui est pourri sur NES. Le Metal Gear 1 sur NES. Plus les bandes dessinées, on a tout. Mais vraiment genre, bon... C'est le volume 1, il n'y a pas tous les jeux, mais vous avez capté. Comment vous le dire? Je suis dans un état de hype incontrôlable. Je pense que quand le remake du 3 va sortir, je vais chialer, encore plus. Mais pour l'heure, nous allons jouer à MGS 3 Snake Eater, l'original, de la version Master Collection. Nous sommes sur PC. Je vais dès à présent... vous montrer l'envers du décor. Non, je déconne. Je vais dès à présent vous montrer... oh, la magnifique reprise d'ailleurs. On remercie de... Comment il s'appelle? Attendez. On remercie cette jeune femme. On remercie tous ces gens. Tous ces gens pour cette cover incroyable. The 8-bit Big Bang. Vous êtes les boss, hein. On vous aime. Abonnez-vous à The 8-bit Big Bang. C'est incroyable les gars ce qu'ils proposent. Vraiment, ils ont une très bonne chaîne. Je vous recommande d'y aller. Nous, on va aller sur le jeu sans plus tarder. D'accord? Mais d'abord, on s'écoute ce classique. Non, je déconne, allez, on va jouer quand même. Hein. On va jouer. Est-ce que vous êtes prêts? Vraiment, hein. Parce que là, on s'attaque... Après, je ferme ma gueule, promis, parce qu'on a 1 heure de cinématique devant nous, donc laissez-moi au moins parler un petit peu. Hein. On s'attaque à un très gros morceau. Chronologiquement, Metal Gear Solid 3 est le premier de la licence. Donc en fait... Pour ceux qui connaissent pas la saga, ça va être plus simple de commencer par cet opus. Sachant qu'on a déjà fait sur la chaîne MGS Peace Walker, MGS 5 dans sa totalité, hein, de Ground Zero Phantom Pain. Et nous avons fait récemment Metal Gear Solid 1. Mais on fera le 3, là on va faire le 3, on va faire le 2, et prochainement dans la volume 2 on fera le 4, qui sort enfin de la PS3 les gars. Ça fait plaisir, il était temps, bordel de merde, 14 ans que ce putain de jeu est sur PS3. Konami, franchement, vous pouvez pas le faire avant. Parce que vraiment, c'est long, hein. C'est long 14 ans, quoi. J'ai eu le temps d'avoir des gosses, quoi, d'ici là. Oh putain, je vous jure. Bon, allez, c'est parti. On va se lancer dans ce magnifique jeu. Je vous rappelle que c'est un chef-d'œuvre. Vraiment. Vous ne pouvez ne pas aimer. Vous pouvez détester l'œuvre et tout. Sachez que c'est vraiment... c'est un pilier du jeu vidéo, la saga Metal Gear. Donc c'est parti. Je suis sur mon 31 d'ailleurs, hein, comme vous pouvez le voir. Donc c'est parti, on va se lancer dans cette aventure incroyable. Je me rappelle à moi que tout est bon, on est d'accord. Tout est bon, le record est bon, au pire, on comblera. Mais tout va bien. Mangeur de serpent. De serpent, t'as capté le... J'étais pas emboucané hein, pour une fois, tu as vu? Bon, allez, c'est parti. On ferme ça, on commence. Oh oui! Oh, c'est sexuel. Oh, c'est sexuel. Alors, là, nous sommes dans le launcher, nous sommes pas encore dans le jeu. Ce qui est bien, c'est que vraiment, vous avez les livres. Alors, c'est en anglais, hein, ça n'a pas été traduit en français, mais voilà. Pour ceux qui veulent et qui parlent un peu anglais, vous avez l'histoire du jeu. Alors nous, on s'en branle. Hein. On s'en branle complet. On a le pack de langage japonais. Je vais voir si il est dispo. Tout à l'heure, il ne l'était pas. En 2 speed, d'accord, on ne le voit pas. Ce n'est pas encore disponible. C'est pas grave. On va jouer en américain. Enfin, on va jouer à la version européenne. Donc, sous-titré français et parlé en anglais. Donc, c'est parti. Screenplay book. L'histoire de l'origine de la saga, ouais... Non mais c'est bon, on peut commencer. Donc nous sommes en 1964 dans l'Union soviétique... l'URSS, on va dire. Hein, l'Union soviétique, merci. Pour une opération top secrète de la CIA. J'en dis pas plus parce que tout va être écrit. Vous allez avoir 1 heure de cinématique, les gars. Donc c'est parti. On commence ce banger. Là, ça s'enlève. Attention. J'ai freeze, mais tout va bien. Non, j'ai pas freeze. C'était une feinte. T'as capté. Mais là, le jeu est en train de se lancer. Il est en train de se comprendre qu'on va se taper un gros morceau, là. On va se taper un gros morceau. Quelle heure il est? 18h44, j'ai pas envie de manger, c'est très bien. On va se consacrer en 100% à ce putain de jeu. Je kiffe cette licence. C'est ma licence préférée. Konami, autrement appelé Konarmi, hein, pour ceux qui ont la ref. On vous embrasse. Hein. C'est parti. Alors, ce qu'il faut savoir, c'est que dès le début, il y a des petits easter eggs assez sympas. Je rappelle, on est sur PC. Des petits easter eggs assez sympas. Si vous appuyez sur Y notamment, vous changez la face du truc. Si vous appuyez sur les boutons des manettes, vous changez les motifs, la couleur. Vous pouvez même changer ça. Vous pouvez accélérer la cinématique, la diminuer, la ralentir. Enfin, c'est un bordel. Ok. Donc nous, pour la peine, on va se mettre comme ça. Je vais choisir le rouge. C'est quand il veut. Le rouge. Voilà, merci. Le rouge avec le motif. Ça ne sert à rien. Voilà, le motif un peu tigré. Metal Gear Solid 3, c'est maintenant. Ok? C'est maintenant, les gars. Je suis tellement impatient. Alors, je vais vite fait me rendre dans les options. Ouais, c'est les mêmes options qu'à l'époque. Je connais le jeu, inutile de vous le dire. Je connais le jeu, mais comme ma poche. Ok? Je le connais comme mes burnes. C'est-à-dire que vraiment, il y aura rien qui va m'étonner à part les nouveautés qu'ils ont introduites, s'ils en ont introduit. Donc, on va commencer d'ores et déjà. Alors, on a le choix entre 4 choix. Pour le fun, alors si on met j'aime MGS2, on va se retrouver avec la gueule de Raiden d'MGS2. Franchement, je vais dire que j'aime MGS1. Voilà, on va faire le truc classico. On se fait en normal parce que ça fait très longtemps que j'ai pas joué au jeu. Et là, je vais fermer ma gueule, je vais m'enlever. Attendez.
After the end of World War II, the world was split into two, East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
Excusez-moi pour la petite balance de son. Allez, c'est parti, je ferme ma gueule.
Approaching Soviet airspace.
20 minutes to drop off.
Commencing internal depressurization. Equipment check. Arm main parachute.
All right. You ready to go?
Drop zone still showing a high pressure mass. Have okay.
Good. We've got high visibility.
Sachez que alors les sous-titres ont été corrigés parce qu'il y avait des fautes de frappe, des fautes d'orthographe. Normalement, ça a été patch. Oh, le jeu est magnifique. Pour rappel, hein, le jeu est sorti en 2003. 2004, pardon.
Does this panty waste know what he's doing?
Approaching release point.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey, are you deaf?
He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
Eh ouais, c'est pas bien, faut pas fumer.
Depressurization complete.
Checking oxygen supply.
6 minutes to drop off. Opening rear hatch.
Ah là 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 là. Let's putain de go. Oh, j'ai des frissons, les gars. On remercie Gregson Williams pour la musique, évidemment.
External temperature minus 46 degrees Celsius. 2 minutes to drop off. Stand up.
You'll be falling at 130 miles per hour. Try not to get frostbite from the wind chill.
1 minute to drop off. Move to the
C'est moi
rear.
qui fais ça, hein, ne vous inquiétez pas.
Activate bailout model.
This is one for the history books. The world's first Halo jump.
10 seconds to drop off. Stand by. Status okay, all green.
Prepare for drop-off. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Spread your wings
And fly. God be with you.
Oh la dinguerie. Oh, je vais chialer.
Jack, I've got some important news.
Je suis tellement heureux.
The head of the CIA has finally given us the green light for the virtuous mission.
Virtual mission?
No, the virtuous mission. The future of our Fox unit depends on it. If it succeeds, we'll be officially organized into a unit.
Virtuous mission? Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
You know, don't get cocky. This isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, a certain Soviet scientist requested asylum in the West through one of our moles. His name is Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov. He's head of the OKB 754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokolov? Isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same. On April the 12th, 1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin into orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokolov left rocket development to become the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story. So why do you want to defect?
It seems he'd become afraid of his own creations.
Afraid?
Call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he left his country and his family behind and went over the fence?
Not exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the West. We used a mole to get the family out first and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov over the Berlin Wall shortly afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
The security on the eastern side was still full of holes back then. Then what?
We got Sokolov over in one piece, but the whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from the research facility in the Soviet Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent. And it was only a week later that we had something much bigger on our hands.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
October the 16th, 1962, President Kennedy received word that the Soviets were in the process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles in Cuba. The President demanded that the Soviets dismantle and remove the missiles. At the same time, he announced a naval blockade to prevent further missile shipments from reaching Cuba. But the Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces on secondary alert. Soviet transport ships carrying missiles continued on course towards Cuba. US and Soviet forces went on alert for an all-out nuclear war. Frantic negotiations were conducted through the UN's Emergency Security Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba, and so the world avoided a nuclear holocaust. But in order to get the Soviets to pull their missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete, and we were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov. They wanted us to return Sokolov.
You mean the Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
At the time, we had no idea. We were running out of time. It was either give up Sokolov or risk full-scale nuclear war. In the end, we had no choice. President Kennedy gave in to Khrushchev's demand. The next day, I got Sokolov out of the hospital, handing him over to agents on the eastern side. Sokolov kept on screaming, "Save me," until he disappeared from my sight. Then a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
Yes. He was taken back to the research facility and forced to continue working on the weapon in question under KGB supervision. What's more, it's on the verge of completion.
So what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
No, missiles.
Same technology.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device. For half a year now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent nuclear tests at Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
Is Sokolov still in the facility?
No, according to our intelligence, he's in Selinoyarsk, a place in the mountains about 3 miles to the west that's known as the Virgin Cliffs.
The Virgin Cliffs. Nice name for a virtuous mission.
They moved him there just recently.
Why?
Apparently, they're conducting a field test of the weapon, but it's our best chance to get him back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility. This is our last chance. Sokolov must have known that too when he contacted us.
Dinguerie. Scénario un peu complexe pour les débutants, mais vous inquiétez pas, c'est normal. Ça mélange fiction et réalité, donc c'est voilà, c'est sympa.
Listen up, Jack. Your mission is to infiltrate Selinoyarsk in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov, and bring him back to the west. If we don't get Sokolov back before that weapon is complete, we'll be facing a major crisis. The clock is ticking. Once we've confirmed the rescue of Sokolov, stand by at the recovery
Easter
point.
eggs. Let's
The
go.
recovery balloon will be dropped at that point. Helium will be pumped into the balloon to inflate it. The process takes about 20 minutes. Once it's complete, the gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
Take it easy. It's been combat-proven.
Do you think Sokolov is up to it?
The shock will be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
So you're planning on going over the border in a single combat talent?
She's equipped with 2 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan cannons, as well as 2 40mm machine guns.
Sounds like she could hold her own against a battalion of tanks.
Even with the fuel in the reserve tank, we're facing a 4-hour time limit. If all goes well, it shouldn't take more than a few hours.
Home in time for dinner.
But if anything goes wrong, you'll be eating dinner, breakfast, and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
Davidator, on l'embrasse, notre fidèle voix de Snake. Incroyable. Incroyable, les gars. C'est dément. Le jeu est fluide, pas une seule perte de framerate. Le portage est vraiment très bien.
Do you copy? You're already in enemy territory, and somebody might be listening in. From here on out, we'll be using code names to refer to each other.
Alors j'ai envie de tester si... j'ai envie de tester si quand je fais un retour Windows ça fonctionne. Ouais, ça fonctionne.
You don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
You've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training?
I'm glad to hear that.
I don't know if I'd ever order one in a restaurant, but...
Be careful, you might not have a choice.
What about you, Major? What should I call you?
Let's see. I'll be Tom. Call me Major Tom. This will be a sneaking mission. You must not be seen by the enemy. You must leave no trace of your presence. Is that clear? This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's speciality. In other words, weapons and equipment are procured on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
Great. Now I see why you asked me if I like snakes. I suppose calling me Snake was your idea of a joke, too.
No. There's a good reason for that. I'll tell you later when the time is right.
Gotcha. Getting back to the subject, how exactly am I supposed to feed myself?
You've been issued a knife and a tranquilizer gun. Use them to hunt for food. You'll also find some medical supplies in your backpack.
Yeah, about the backpack. I lost it in a tree on the way down.
I see. Well, you'd better go back and get it then. You know where it is?
No problem. I can see it from here. It's stuck on a branch.
To climb a tree, stand in front of a tree that's covered in ivy and press the action button. I'll be monitoring your progress over the radio. We can't risk violating Soviet airspace, but I'll be in the gunship. My frequency is 140.85. I'll give you a call if I need to talk to you. If you need to talk to me, use the send function. Okay, Snake, go get your backpack.
Let's go. Let's go, les gars. Attendez, je me remets... Ah, ça a mis... Ça a visiblement remis... Ah, ça a fait les touches. Mais alors, du coup... Attendez. Ouais, donc c'est comme ça. C'est les touches un petit peu... c'est les touches américaines, d'accord. C'est excellent. J'arrive pas à y croire. J'arrive pas à y croire que ça y est, on y joue enfin. Alors juste, voilà, il y a ça, c'est la version de base. On jouait comme ça dans la première version. On avait cette vue là. Puis après ils ont rajouté ça dans Subsistance. Donc c'est bon. Bon bah c'est parti, hein, on y va. On commence l'aventure. On commence l'aventure tranquillement. Tout va nous être expliqué hein, au fur et à mesure qu'on avance. Je vous préviens, ça va beaucoup parler. C'est un jeu qui est très très cinématographique. Je vais laisser ma cam dans les phases codec. Oui.
I see you've retrieved your backpack, Snake. To equip a weapon, it's necessary to take it out of your backpack. In the survival viewer, choose Weapon from the backpack. Your available weapons will be displayed in a window in the upper left.
Ah, est-ce que j'ai besoin de bouger ma cam finalement?
For other equipped items, just do the same thing from item.
Je crois que je vais bouger ma cam.
Use the survival viewer backpack.
Yep, that's right. Survival is fundamental to this mission. After you've been out in the field for a while, your stamina will start to drop. If your stamina gets too low, it'll affect your performance. You won't be able to shoot accurately, for example, and your wounds won't heal as smoothly. Keep an eye on your stamina so you don't run out. To recover lost stamina, you can hunt for local flora and fauna.
Bon là il nous explique en fait le gameplay, mais vous inquiétez pas, il n'y a rien de compliqué.
My only weapon is a Mark 22 Hush Puppy tranquilizer gun.
That's right. It's been fitted with its own
C'est vraiment très simple.
However, the suppressor will deteriorate every time you fire. Once its durability reaches 0, the noise suppression effect will be gone. So don't get too trigger happy with it. The suppressor's durability is shown in the icon. Any weapons and equipment beyond what you're carrying now You'll have to find as you go.
I have to find my own weapons and equipment? Whose crazy idea was this anyway?
Solo covert actions are standard Fox operating procedure. You can't leave any traces of your presence. No weapons, equipment, footprints, sweat, or bodily waste. The same goes for bullets and cartridges, too. Your presence in enemy territory is already a violation of international conventions of warfare. There aren't supposed to be any American soldiers in Russia. It could spark an international incident.
Pas la pression.
You can't let anyone see you.
Pas du tout
You can't
la
let the
pression.
enemy know you're there. This is a stealth mission. You're a ghost, Snake, in every sense of the word. And there'll be no rescue if you're captured. The military and US government will deny any involvement in the affair.
Then I'll just have to take care of myself, huh?
I'm afraid so. You've been given a fake death pill for that purpose. SIS guidelines stipulate that soldiers on covert ops like this one be issued a potassium cyanide capsule. Tape it to your body so you can take it when you need to.
How generous of you.
Use it if you're taken prisoner by the enemy. It'll send you into a state of false death for a short time.
Fooling them into thinking that I'm really dead. So, how do I come back to life?
Just take the revival pill.
You mean that thing they put in my tooth before the mission?
That's the one. But be careful. If you remain in a state of false death for too long, nothing will be able to bring you back. Remember that.
I'll keep it in mind. You said this was a solo mission, right?
Right.
I guess that means I can't count on any reinforcements.
Correct. The mission rests
J'ai ma
entirely
bite et
in
mon
your
couteau.
hands.
A real one-man army.
Relax. There's a support team ready to back you up over the radio.
Who?
I'll introduce them to you. This time, survival is of utmost importance. The first member of the support team will be in charge of monitoring your physical condition, acting as a medic, so to speak, as well as recording your mission data. She's a member of Fox as well, and she's here on the gunship with me.
She.
Hello, Snake. I'm paramedic. Nice to meet you.
Paramedic.
As in a medic who comes in by parachute.
Aren't you going to tell me your real name?
Are you going to tell me yours, Mr. Snake?
Oh.
My name, huh? It's John Doe.
And they call you Jack for short.
Et ouais.
You're a regular Captain Nemo.
A name means nothing on the battlefield. After a week,
Il y a beaucoup de
no one has a
similitudes
name.
dans les dialogues
What's your name?
que Snake dit
Very funny.
entre le
I wasn't
MGS1 et
joking,
MGS3.
But I'll tell
Il y
you
aura
my name
souvent
only if you manage to make it back
les mêmes
alive.
phrases dites.
My frequency is 145.73.
She's also in charge of recording your mission data. Whenever you want to save, send a message over the reserve
Je connais
save
le jeu.
frequency.
Je connais le jeu, j'ai 1500 heures
So
dessus.
saving lets me record my mission data.
That's right. It also records the state of your health.
Good to know.
There's one more person I want to introduce you to, Snake.
Huh?
Speaking of snakes,
The boss.
you remember the boss, don't you? A legendary soldier and your mentor. Actually, it was the boss that got the DCI's authorization in the first place. She's going to be serving as Fox's mission advisor.
Boss is?
She also helped me plan this mission. She and I were at SAS together.
Jack, is that you? How many years has it been?
Boss?
That's right. It's me. Talk to me. Let me hear your voice.
It's been 5 years, 72 days, and 18 hours.
You've lost weight.
You can tell just by the sound of my voice.
Of course I can. I know all about you.
Really? Well, I don't know anything about you.
What's that supposed to mean?
Why'd you disappear on me all of a sudden?
I was on a top-secret mission. You didn't need me anymore.
But there were still so many things I wanted you to teach me.
No, I taught you everything you needed to know about fighting techniques. I taught you all I could. The rest you needed to learn on your own.
Techniques, sure. But what about how to think like a
J'ai déjà envie de
soldier?
pleurer alors qu'on est qu'au
How
début.
to
hein.
think like a soldier? I can't teach you that. A soldier needs to be strong in spirit, body, and technique. And the only thing you can learn from someone else is technique. In fact, technique doesn't even matter. What's most important is spirit. Spirit and body are like two sides of a single coin. They're the same thing. I can't teach you how to think. You'll just have to figure it out for yourself. Listen to me, Jack. Just because soldiers are on the same side right now doesn't mean they always will be. Having personal feelings about your comrades is one of the worst sins you can commit. Politics determine who you face on the battlefield.
Triste
And
réalité.
politics are a living thing. They change along with the times. Yesterday's good might be tomorrow's evil.
Is that why you abandoned me?
No, it had
Vous aurez
nothing
beaucoup
to
de
do with you.
sous-textes sur
I
vraiment
already told you, Jack.
même des
I was on
situations
a
actuelles
top
encore,
secret
hein,
mission.
qui
A soldier
changeront
has
pas.
to follow whatever orders he's given. It's not his place to question why, but you're looking for a reason to fight. You are a natural-born fighter, but you're not quite a soldier. A soldier is a political tool, nothing more. That's doubly true if he's a career soldier. Right and wrong have no place in his mission. He has no enemies and no friends. Only the mission. You follow the orders you're given. That's what being a soldier is.
I do whatever I have to get the job done. I don't think about politics.
That's not the same thing. Sooner or later, your conscience is going to bother you. In the end, you have to choose whether you're going to live as a soldier or just another man with a gun. There's a saying in the Orient, loyalty to the end. Do you know what it means?
Being patriotic.
It means devoting yourself to your country.
I follow the president and the top brass. I'm ready to die for them if necessary.
The president and the top brass won't be there forever. Once their terms are up, others will take their place.
I follow the will of the leader, no matter who's in charge.
People aren't the ones who dictate the missions.
Then who does?
The times. People's values change over time, and so do the leaders of a country. So there's no such thing as an enemy in absolute terms. The enemies we fight are only enemies in relative terms, constantly changing with the times. As long as we have loyalty to the end, there's no point in believing in anything, even in those we love.
And that's the way a soldier's supposed to think?
The only thing we can believe in with absolute certainty is the mission, Jack.
All right, but do me a favor.
What is it?
Call me Snake.
Snake. Oh, right. Your code name is Snake. It suits you well.
That's right. The legendary unit that the boss put together during World War II was a snake. The Cobra unit, a group of heroes that brought the war to an end and saved the world. As long as you've got a legendary hero backing you up, you'll be fine. Isn't that right, Snake?
Yeah, I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have with me. Oh, and one more thing, boss.
Yes?
It's good to hear your voice again.
Same here. After all, who knows if either of us will make it out alive? Snake, you are always best at urban warfare and infiltrating buildings. But this is the jungle. Survival is going to be key. Those CQC techniques I taught you are sure to come in handy.
CQC? Close quarters combat, huh? I've been in the Green Berets for the past few years. I'm probably pretty rusty.
Not to worry. I'll be here to help you remember.
Ah, en plus,
After
ouais,
all, this is
le
your
CQC, il y a
first
plein de petits
actual
trucs à savoir.
survival
Wow, de
mission.
petits trucs,
I'll
des
be
petites
supporting
variantes,
you over the
mais
radio.
Where are you, boss?
j'ai la mémoire musculaire, donc normalement ça devrait
The
pas
boss is
poser problème.
communicating with us by radio from aboard a Permit-class submarine in the Arctic Ocean.
My frequency is 141.80. Call me if you need my advice on battle techniques.
Gotcha.
Your mission is to retrieve Dr. Sokolov. Dr. Sokolov is being held in an abandoned factory located to the north of your current position. Avoid heavy combat and don't let anyone see
Est-ce que
you.
vous voyez tout? Ouais.
Don't
Ouais, c'est
forget
bon.
that this
Je suis
is a
pile entre
stealth mission.
la police qui s'arrête encore. Oh, je suis trop refait, les gars.
Snake, try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
Ah là 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 là. Let's go! Let's putain go! Oh, je suis trop impatient, vraiment. Commencing virtuous mission now. Je connais le jeu par cœur, hein. C'est il y a un truc qui va beaucoup m'intéresser, c'est prochainement quand j'aurai fait le let's play, on va pouvoir s'attaquer, capturer un animal vivant. Let's go, le premier succès. Vous le voyez pas, mais parce que j'ai capturé que le jeu. Vraiment la scène speedrun, je pense que ça va mettre tout le monde d'accord sur quelle version on joue au jeu, parce qu'à l'époque, bon à l'époque, pas plus tard qu'il y a pas longtemps, on jouait tous sur la version HD Collection parce que c'était la plus récente et la plus rapide. Parce qu'on pouvait d'ailleurs aussi, on pouvait, oula, on pouvait aussi, si on était un peu habile de ses mains, mettre un SSD dans la PS3, ce qui permettait de faire des temps de chargement beaucoup plus courts. Donc, mais là, étant donné que c'est sur PC, maintenant, il n'y a plus de soucis à se faire, quoi. Donc, bah, let's go. Hein. En vrai, alors, je vois que c'est quand même un peu... Non, mais c'est très bien. Hein. C'est très bien. Juste, je vais checker un truc vite fait dans les options. Les options, c'est exactement les mêmes. Hein. Retour à l'écran titre, non. Cinématique en temps réel, oui. Ah, est-ce qu'on peut mettre... Letterbox, c'est quoi déjà? Je me souviens plus. Bon, on va mettre plein écran. On va laisser comme ça. Bah c'est parti hein. Il va falloir beaucoup se concentrer sur les cinématiques parce que c'est une histoire somme toute assez basique, mais la première fois qu'on le fait, on a un peu de mal à suivre le fil. Pour rappel, ce Snake là n'est pas le Snake d'MGS1 ni 2 ni 4. C'est vraiment genre... en gros c'est le daron de Solid Snake. C'est le premier... c'est le Snake original si on peut dire.
They're probably KGB troops sent to guard Sokolov.
AK-47s and grenades.
Oh là là, David Hater, incroyable quand même. Merci David.
Snake, your presence in Soviet territory is already a violation of international law. We can't let the Kremlin find out that the CIA and the American government are involved. Contact with the enemy is strictly prohibited. Don't engage them in battle either. This is a stealth mission. Got that?
The Major is right. The point of this mission is to sneak through the jungle without being seen. The success of the mission depends on how well you use your camouflage.
Si on se fait repérer qu'il y a des bavures, c'est pas grave, hein, vous inquiétez pas. Hein.
Camouflage by selecting camouflage from the survival viewer.
Ouais, et la nouveauté d'MGS3, le fait qu'on puisse choisir des uniformes pour mieux se camoufler avec l'indice de camouflage en haut à droite de l'écran, ça c'était vraiment super bien. Il y a plein de camos qu'on débloquera en New Game Plus aussi.
If you just stand up and run around like an idiot, you're bound to be spotted. But
Et
if
oui.
you crawl instead, you should be able to sneak by without being noticed. You can see how effective your camouflage is by looking at the camo index. The camo index shows how well your current camouflage blends in with the surrounding area. The higher the value, the harder you are to spot,
Beau pec,
and
hein.
vice versa.
Il a des beaux pecs.
The key is to make yourself one. Keep that in mind as you go along, okay?
Oui, je sais jouer. Vous inquiétez pas. J'ai déjà joué il y a longtemps. Plein de choses. Pas pour la peine d'ailleurs. Parce qu'on a 0%, c'est catastrophique. On va se mettre comme ça. Le plus opti, c'est ouais, le rayure tigre dans cette zone. Ah, je vous dis, je connais tellement le jeu par cœur que je sais exactement quel camo il faut mettre pour pas se faire repérer. Alors... On va pas pouvoir être accroupi et se déplacer accroupi, comme dans beaucoup de jeux. Soit on rampe, soit on court. Donc là, ça va être un gameplay très axé sur l'infiltration, comme vous avez pu le constater. Hein. Et beaucoup plus complet et maniable que MGS1. Alors, est-ce qu'il y a une touche? Il y avait une touche... Non, il n'y avait pas de touche. J'aimerais essayer le CQC. Oh fuck this shit. J'aimerais essayer le CQC. Non. Ah c'est dommage. Interroger un ennemi. Merde. Attends, c'est cette technique pour viser. Oh, je suis obligé de me contorsionner avec la manette. Incroyable la musique. Ah, comment on fait déjà? Ah, c'est horrible. C'est horrible. Putain, mais ils sont 1000, ils sont 1500. Assommer la garde au CQC. Bon, il y a beaucoup de succès qui se débloquent là. Incroyable. Te fais pas repérer l'avenir de l'Amérique et du monde en dépend. Ouais, ouais. Ouais, ouais, t'inquiète. Je gère. C'était un test, hein. Je voulais voir comment ça se passait. Tôt ou tard, on se serait fait repérer. On va essayer quand même de se faire repérer le minimum possible. Enfin, le moins possible. Le moins possible, oui, c'est très français, hein. La petite grenouille à viser, là, ça c'est pour débloquer le camouflage optique. Dans chaque zone, il y en a un. C'est bien, la spatialisation du son, elle est bien quand même. Hein. C'est dommage, on a raté une cinématique du coup, vu que je me suis fait repérer, parce que la Snake aurait regardé cette... avec les jumelles, cette... comment dire... ce nid d'abeilles, et il aurait fait ce fameux rire. Oh merde. Attendez, on va essayer de voir si en sortant de la zone, après la prudence, ça change. Je pense pas que ça change. Les OST de ce jeu sont juste mais démentiels les gars. Hein. Vraiment, je vous le dis, c'est incroyable. J'ai pas perdu, surtout que je connais le jeu. Je sais où les ennemis sont. Je me rappelle de la majeure partie des ennemis, mais après pour jouer c'est pas un problème. Ah du coup ouais, la cinématique se fait pas. Bon et en gros on va faire ça. Apiculteur, utilisez les abeilles pour attaquer un ennemi. Ah bah putain mais... Je fais 100% le jeu si ça continue. Je fais 100% le jeu en succès. Oh merde. Là, on va passer ici. Ouf. Ah, y a pas le camo maintenant? D'accord, parce qu'ici, il y a un camo normalement. Alors, je teste un petit peu parce que vu que c'est... Ouais, mais c'est les mêmes touches en réalité. Hein. Pour regarder ici, là. Ouais, le sonar. Comment on fait pour l'activer le sonar là? Appuyez sur... Ouais. Ça marche pas. Ah merde, le sonar ne marche pas. Ah ça c'est con ça. Ouais, le sonar marche pas, un truc à corriger visiblement. Bon la plupart du temps on s'en servira pas. Surtout se servir du détecteur. Détecteur de mouvement. Moi je fume un bon cigare hein. Pourquoi il vise là? Je lui ai pas demandé de viser. Ah, c'est la visée automatique, d'accord. Pourquoi il vise ici? Oh merde! Oh, qu'est-ce qu'il fout là? Qu'est-ce qu'il fout ici? Je me disais mais pourquoi il vise le mur Oh bordel de merde. Faites dodo, faites dodo. Vous réveillez pas. Pas compris pourquoi ils sont revenus. Ça va l'oiseau? Tu fais ton meilleur beatbox?
Major, I've reached the abandoned factory where Sokolov is supposedly being held. This place is a dump. I can't see Sokolov from here. The security is pretty tight. There are sentries posted around the perimeter. I wonder how many are inside.
Your objective, Sokolov, is inside the factory. They should be holding him in a room in the northeast section.
Northeast section. Got it.
Be careful. Your mission is to bring Sokolov back alive. He must not be exposed to any kind of danger. Do not approach Sokolov while in the alert phase.
Right.
Oh, and one more thing, Snake.
You mean there's more?
No, it's just that when you get to Sokolov, I want you to tell him something from me.
And that is?
Sorry for being so late.
Is that all?
Yes.
Understood. Beginning my approach to the target.
Ça va me faire bizarre hein, de refaire le jeu avec toutes ces cinématiques. Quand j'y jouais, je le connaissais tellement par cœur que je le speedrunnais quoi. Alors là, ça sert à rien de récupérer du stuff, tout simplement parce qu'après on va plus l'avoir. Je dis pas pourquoi, mais pour ceux qui connaissent le jeu, savent quoi. Ouais, je suis un homme viril là. Incroyable. Peut-être l'endormir lui. Hein. Est-ce qu'on peut changer la sensi? Mode caméra, non. Caméra en haut. Non. On peut pas changer la sensi, d'accord. D'accord, je vais me faire enculer, y a pas de problème. Ok. C'est pas un problème, hein, je m'adapterai. Hein. Voilà, il y avait pas 50 000 options à l'époque. Hein. Comment ça touche pas? On me dise pas qu'on... Ouais voilà, merci. On n'est pas dans CSGO là. Hein. Le truc qui est un peu chiant, c'est qu'on peut pas, genre, rester comme ça et marcher en étant accroupi. Mais bah, c'est pas grave. Oh, pardon? Comment? Qui le demande? Merde. Merde. Je n'existe pas. Ah merde. On va attendre qu'il se barre. Hein. On va le CQC. On va lui CQC la gueule. Espérant que l'autre soit pas là. Hein? D'accord. Oui. Comment il a fait? Ah c'est très dur hein. J'avais oublié que c'était très dur. Ah le mec ici. C'est un guet-apens. Mais qu'est-ce qu'il fait? Mais enlève-toi. Oh le bordel. Oh putain ils sont 1000. Oh merde. Ils sont 1 million. Putain je vois rien. Je vois plus. Oh merde. Faut se remettre dans le bain hein, les gars. Les mecs ils sont énervés hein. Putain mais pourtant il m'a semblé qu'il était il était retourné quoi.
HQ. This is HQ. Patrol here. We've lost sight of the enemy.
Elle est où la patrouille?
Alert formation.
Let's go. On n'a rien vu, j'ai été discret.
You must be Sokolov.
Are you one of Volgin's men? You'll never get it from me.
No. I'm a CIA agent. I've come to escort you back to the other side of the Iron Curtain.
You're CIA?
Yeah. I was sent by Major Zero, the man who got you out 2 years ago.
Zero?
I have a message from him.
What is it?
He said to tell you sorry for being so late.
Did he now?
What does it mean?
It means he's a man of his word. But we've got no time for this. You have to get me out of here before they arrive.
Who's they?
Colonel Volgin of Gru. You in the West know him as Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt? Never heard of him.
He's a member of the Army's extremist faction, a man who seeks to seize control of the motherland. Ever since the Cuban Missile Crisis 2 years ago, Khrushchev has been pursuing a policy of peaceful coexistence with the West. Despite resistance and criticism from hawks in the Army and the provincial authorities, Khrushchev has managed to suppress the opposition so far. But the failure of his agricultural policies has put him in a precarious position. And on top of that, the tragedy last November.
President Kennedy's assassination.
Precisely. In a sense, Khrushchev has lost his biggest partner, and his power base is rapidly crumbling away. A certain group is plotting to use this opportunity to seize power by rallying the anti-government forces, overthrowing Khrushchev, and installing Brezhnev and Kosygin in his place. The mastermind behind this plot is Colonel Volgin of the Gru. He has control over another secret weapons research facility much like this one, OKB-812, known as the Granin Design Bureau, and is using it to further his plans. But that is not enough to satisfy him. Now he's plotting to seize the secret weapon I have been developing here and use it as leverage in his bid for power.
C'est le méchant, hein, si vous avez pas compris.
The intelligence says that they are going to make their move during the test.
Then, the soldiers outside.
Exactly. They wouldn't need that many men just to keep me inside. Their orders were to prevent Colonel Volgin from capturing me. Even if it meant killing me in the process, or so it would seem. Volgin will come, I'm sure of it. You must get me out of here before then.
Leave it to me.
By the way, your Russian is superb. Where did you learn to speak it?
From my mentor.
Is that so? America's truly a frightening country.
Having second thoughts.
No. I have no love for this place. Let's go.
On peut y aller, hein, je pense. Le mec se regarde dans le blanc des yeux.
Major, this is Snake. Sokolov is safe with me. He's doing fine. No injuries.
Good work, Snake. Now hurry up and get Sokolov to the recovery point. We'll rendezvous with you there.
Roger.
What about the sentries?
I managed to get past them.
I see.
What about the boss?
We lost contact with the boss some time ago.
What happened?
It's probably just a weak signal. Just hurry and get Sokolov out of there.
C'est bon, tonton, je m'en occupe. Oui, il y a beaucoup de cinématiques, mais c'est MGS. C'est un guet-apens.
Freeze!
So this is the legendary boss. Huh? We meet at last.
You're from the Ocelot unit of Spetsnaz. Huh. What's a Gru soldier doing here?
Soldier?
C'est sexy, hein.
He's the Ocelot commander.
That's Major Ocelot to you. And don't you forget it.
George Keaton, incroyable.
Sokolov is ours. Now get out of here.
And Ocelot never lets his prey escape.
What?
Oh, tirez-lui dessus, hein. Il faut pas le regarder, hein. Ok, Clint Eastwood. Tu vas poser ce revolver très gentiment. Pardon, ce Makarov.
I can't say it feels good to kill a comrade, even if it is for the Gru.
Sokolov, take cover.
Huh. You're not the boss, are you?
Le mec miaule. Incroyable.
Crew operatives!
Le mec miaule pour amener sa clique.
What is that stance? Huh. That gun. If you're not the boss, then die.
Major! Leave it! Shoot the other one!
Sexy, hein.
You ejected the first bullet by hand, didn't you? I see what you were trying to do, but testing a technique you've only heard about in the middle of battle wasn't very smart. You were asking to have your gun jam on you. Besides, I don't think you're cut out for an automatic in the first place. You tend to twist your elbow to absorb the recoil. That's more of a revolver technique.
You filthy American dog!
But that was some fancy shooting. You're pretty good.
Pretty good.
C'est ça. Le boss. C'est pas pour rien qu'il sera Big Boss après. Hein.
Major, do you read me?
I read you. Snake, you alright?
I've run into a few snags. These guys were after Sokolov too. Apparently they were taking orders from a GRU colonel named Volgan.
A GRU colonel?
Part of an internal Soviet power struggle according to Sokolov. Something between the KGB and GRU. Between Khrushchev's supporters and Volgan's.
Sokolov was being guarded by the KGB and hunted by GRU? Snake, it sounds like this could be even hotter than Cuba.
I don't like it. Something about the whole thing stinks.
I agree. You'd better hurry.
Sokolov ran off by himself, but I'll catch up to him.
We're counting on you.
Soumettre au slot. Bon bah c'est bien. C'est pas... Ah, qu'est-ce que je voulais dire? C'est bien fait, je voulais dire. Tiens, fais dodo. Oh putain, la picouse. Attendez, il y a moyen qu'on la voit un peu plus. Ah, je lui ai vraiment... je lui ai mis dans le crâne, quoi. Hémorragie du crâne. C'est parti. Oh, le speedrun, ça va être incroyable. Je suis désolé si je tousse, les gars. Hein. Vraiment... J'y peux rien. Ça veut pas partir.
You okay? Those men were from the Ocelot unit.
Spetsnaz?
Yes. The best GRU has to offer. They're coming for me. I'm finished!
Calm down. I'll get you out of here, I promise. And we've got some of the best backup we could ask.
Look.
What the fuck? Mon casque il a bugué.
That's what they were making you build.
Yes. The Shagohod. The treading behemoth. A tank capable of launching nuclear IRBMs.
It can launch nuclear missiles from that kind of terrain?
Oh, yes. And without support from friendly units.
A nuclear-equipped tank capable of operating solo.
Eh oui, le premier Metal Gear.
Is that thing finished?
No, this is only the end of Phase 1. It won't be truly finished until we complete Phase 2.
Phase 2.
The weapon's true form. If it is completed and the Colonel gets his hands on it, it will mean the end of the Cold War.
The end of the Cold War?
Yes. And then the Age of Fear will truly begin.
A world war.
I had no choice but to cooperate. I didn't want to die. I wanted to see my wife and child again in America. Please, take me to America, quickly. They cannot complete it without my help.
Got it. Let's go.
J'ai un problème à la main, je sais pas ce que j'ai. Non, c'est bon. Depuis tout à l'heure, j'ai mal. Le début, vous en faites pas, hein, il y a beaucoup de cinématiques, mais il va y avoir du gameplay au bout d'un moment. Hein. Ce sera pas que des cinématiques. Elle était censée être dans un sous-marin en Antarctique, hein, pour rappel.
Good work, Jack.
What are you doing here?
Sokolov comes with me.
Alors non. C'est Spider-Man. C'est l'ancêtre de Spider-Man. Alors pour ceux qui sont phobiques des frelons, désolé. Désolé les gars.
My friends, let us fight together again.
I have waited long for this day.
We will fight with you once more. Welcome back, boss.
Now that all 5 of us are together, it's time we go to the depths of hell itself. It's raining blood. Is he crying?
On est dans Silent Hill ou c'est comment là? Il y a quelqu'un? Et c'est à ce moment que je me rendis compte que je n'étais pas seul.
Kuwabara.
Je crois que c'est le méchant.
Ah, what a joyful scene.
Colonel Vogan.
Welcome to my country. And to my unit.
Boss, what is this?
I'm defecting to the Soviet Union. Sokolov is a little gift from my new hosts.
Recoilless nuclear warheads.
These will make a fine gift for me.
This can't be happening.
Who is he? Another one of your disciples? Are we taking him with us?
No, this one is still just a child. Too pure for us cobras. He has not yet found an emotion to carry into battle.
What are you talking about?
Think you can pull the trigger?
He's seen my face. We can't let him live. If Khrushchev finds out about this, we're finished. He must die.
Wait. He's my apprentice. I'll take care of him. Jack, you can't come with us.
Il se fait marave.
The new blood has been rejected. Are we done here?
Now, onto Sokolov's research facility.
Shagohod is ours.
Drift away. My place is with them now.
Et oui, se faire trahir par son boss. Mais en vrai, on verra que c'est beaucoup plus complexe que ça.
Snake, can you hear me?
Yeah. Just barely.
Snake, listen to me. You need emergency medical treatment. Can you move? You've got to get those wounds treated. Hang in there. All right, let's get you fixed up. Paramedic?
Okay, Snake. Just relax and it'll all be over before you know it. Stay with me. I've seen people in worse shape before. Think you can handle it?
Major. The boss. She's defected.
We'll talk about that later. First, we've got to get you patched up.
Okay, here we go. First, open the survival viewer with the start button. If you select cure, you can start the treatment. Healing is
La particularité aussi de ce jeu, c'est qu'on peut guérir de nos blessures. Les blessures sont représentées par une part de notre vie en rouge. Ça veut dire qu'on a une blessure à soigner. On va voir si je me rappelle. Parce que ça c'est... Quand tu speedrun, il faut connaître par cœur les blessures que t'as et les appliquer le plus vite possible.
With this method, you can use items to help your recovery process. To treat a bone fracture, first secure the affected area with a fastener and then wrap it in bandages. That should do it.
Puis ça aussi, c'était un truc qui était assez intelligent. C'est que vraiment, on vous apprend à jouer par le biais de quelque chose de scénaristique. C'est pas juste un bandeau, on vous dit oui, alors si vous voulez vous soigner, il faut appuyer sur ça. Puis après, on vous met dans le menu, on vous dit eh ben il faut appuyer sur ça quand c'est comme ça. Là, il est vraiment, c'est amené d'une façon beaucoup plus immersive. Donc là, coupure. Coupure, c'est ça, ça, ça et ça. Je me rappelle. Ça, c'est quoi coupure? Pareil. Tac, tac. Est-ce que c'est plus rapide? Alors attendez, je vais tester un truc. Ouais. Ça, c'est quoi aussi coupure? Il y a une petite latence, mais ça va. Os fracturé, ça c'est... c'est l'attelle, le pansement. Voilà. Et ça c'est coupure. Merde. Ouais, alors du coup quand on se trompe, il y a ce sound design. Par contre on perd le truc. On perd un petit truc, mais c'est pas grave. Let's go. Ça fait mal.
Good job, Snake.
We're coming to get you now. Just stay where you are. We'll drop a recovery balloon. Can you set it up?
Je suis extrêmement heureux. Je suis désolé, je vous le redis, mais ça me fait un bien fou de rejouer au jeu. Surtout que je peux enfin le streamer. Parce que j'ai l'HD collection sur PS3, mais aucune possibilité d'enregistrer. J'ai pas de boîtier d'acquisition. Faudrait que je m'en achète un d'ailleurs pour les jeux Switch. Ce serait sympa, un prochain investissement pour le loisir à faire. Ce serait peut-être cool de faire ça en vrai. Pour streamer les jeux Switch. Oh le Shagon. C'est un de mes designs de Metal Gear préférés avec le Rex. Non mais tu vas pas y arriver hein.
Excellent. A great success. Thanks to the boss and her cobras, I have both Sokolov and the Shagohod.
Comment ça, mon ref? T'es bizarre?
What are we going to do with the girl?
Who is she?
Apparently she's Sokolov's woman.
She's a nice catch. I'll take her. Not so fast, my dear. A kiss of death.
Are you KGB?
We may be able to use her. She has spunk.
Shall we take her back to the base?
Perhaps we should. We have no further use for Sokolov's research facility. I think it's time I gave this marvelous new toy a try.
Voilà. C'est une ogive nucléaire, hein.
Colonel, even if they are our enemies, they're still our countrymen.
But it won't be me that pulled the trigger. It'll be our friend, the American defector.
You're going to nuke your fellow Russians?
Remember the Alamo.
Colonel!
Champignon. Il y a une référence à Alamo, mais je me souviens plus du coup ce que c'est. Sauvegarder, oui. Alors, là, sachez qu'on a fini le prologue. Je vais cut le premier épisode du let's play pour YouTube. Donc YouTube, je te dis à une prochaine. Et le stream, bah, juste là. À tout de suite.